Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. It's Tumor Humor Day. Woohoo! If this is your first time listening to Beating Cancer Daily, every once in a while, I just have to break out some tumor humor because I found my comic perspective at high function when I was diagnosed with cancer. Maybe because I had a history in the comedy world through scouting comics in Hollywood for Dick Clark Productions, or maybe just because my dad took me to see my first major comedian at 10 or 12 in Florida. That was Jackie Mason, that I have always loved humor, loved comedy. I write comedy. I produce comedy. I just love everything about the comic perspective. And I teach it for patients, caregivers, healthcare workers, how to use their comic perspective for coping and for just having a good time. I challenged myself to write 31 days of comedy about going through cancer treatment. 1, because I'm a stage 4 cancer survivor, and 2, because it was a really cool way to try to raise money to support the Comedy Cures Foundation, which I launched from my chemo chair in 1999 during my first chemo treatment. So this is just one of the little jokes I wrote, and I want to tell it to you, then I want to explain it, and hopefully it'll get you thinking about your own cancer experience in a more comedic way. Here goes. My friends say my diagnosis has made me reckless. Anyone know where I can buy a flamethrower and lease a Harley? No. Why did I write that? I've always been pretty fearless, but cancer gave me this excuse to be even more daring, and I just will go for it. Whatever it is, I just go for it. So people often admire that I'm really brave and that I really trust my instincts. And I think part of that came from beating stage 4 cancer. It's a pretty incredible feat, and it partially made me feel somewhat invincible. I've always been the person that picks up the bugs and does that kind of a thing, but overall, I'm pretty fearless. What was interesting was I read an article on WebMD where a psychologist actually said that it's rare that a patient will get more reckless when they've been diagnosed with cancer. It usually has the opposite effect. It makes them very thoughtful and start thinking about their health and becoming more focused and measured in terms of taking care of themselves and their stress levels. That I thought was super interesting because I've seen people who will start drinking excessively, smoking excessively, doing drugs excessively because they're trying to cope with the fear of going through a cancer diagnosis. So I'm just curious, did your cancer experience, either as a patient, survivor, or caregiver, make you more careful, more conservative, more thoughtful? Or did you go through a reckless phase? Are you still in your reckless phase? I wouldn't say I'm reckless for the sake of being reckless, but I definitely just feel unbelievably unbridled and brave in terms of my approach to trying anything, not worrying about failing. I think because they gave me a short life expectancy. And so that heightened everything I was doing to just burst through any of that anxiety or any of that fear. I also think when I beat stage 4 cancer, it just made me feel so blessed. And I didn't want to miss any opportunity that life was giving me. So that really negated stress or self-doubt or fear in my case. We don't want to be reckless. I was exaggerating in that comedy, and that's what you do in comedy. You take a seed of truth and then you just exaggerate it to get a laugh. But that seed of truth makes it authentic. And that was authentic behavior by me. I just really exaggerated it for the joke. So I would love for you to start thinking about your own behavior. Are you being too safe? Are you playing it too safe? Do you want to have more adventures? Or are you sabotaging yourself by drinking too much and doing too many drugs, not getting enough sleep? It's really a delicate balance. You got to live your life. You don't want to be dangerous, but you also don't want to be so cocooned that you don't experience all the beautiful things that we're being left here to experience. Well, I'd love to hear from you. So go to the Comedy Cures Foundation and press the record button and tell me where you are in your reckless bravery or conservative behavior. And don't forget to send me your tumor humor. If you're looking at your cancer journey and you're finding the funny in it, please make sure that you go to the comedycures.org website and press record and tell me your tumor humor, or write it to me through the contact button. Or you can go to our Comedy Cures laugh line, 1-888-HA-HA-HA-HA. That's 4 ha's. And you can press 3 and you can record your joke there. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you guys know this, but Beating Cancer Daily is a listener and donor-supported podcast and community. So if you have some extra change, I'd love you to go to comedycures.org and make a donation today of whatever level is comfortable for you. And it will be tax deductible to the extent allowed by law, because Comedy Cures is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded from my chemo chair, April 1999, and we've been going strong ever since. So please consider making a donation today and help our community and this podcast thrive. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.